Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So if you had to guess, which state in the entire country has the most gun laws? Not the worst, but the most. What would your guess be? Now, we're going to be talking about a Boston University study today that came out with those numbers. So put your guess down below in the comment section and hit that thumbs up button if you think the Second Amendment should not be treated like a second-class right. Let's talk about it and see if your guess was right. This video is sponsored by JX Tactical. This is my JX Tactical holster right here that I have been wearing every single day, and I mean every day for the past 7 months. One of the biggest problems with carry is when you don't carry. And one of the reasons why people don't carry is because it's just uncomfortable. Now, one of the biggest reasons carry can be uncomfortable is because of body style. We don't all have the same bodies. That's why JX Tactical came out with the Fat Guy Inside the Waistband Appendix holster. This is absolutely the most comfortable Kydex holster that I've ever used. You have several different clip options like these soft loops right here. You also have hard clips. You can use the Ulti clip. They come with RDS cuts, red dot sight cuts, standard with each holster. They are fantastic. Now, they have holster designs for pretty much every body shape, so don't give up, don't stop carrying. Make sure that you have the ability to defend yourself and your family. Check out JX Tactical first. Now, before we talk about this state, I think it's best to first have a baseline, an understanding of how many laws on average all of the other states have. So we take a look at the baseline for all of the other states in the country. Obviously, there's going to be some with more, some with less, but if we take a look at the average, every year annually, while it still fluctuates, is less than 25. That's less than 25 laws that govern purchase, possession, transfer, carry, and things of that nature. Okay, so as you can see, a little bit of fluctuation, but still less than 25 per state is the average annually up to 2020. So what does our state have? Well, the state is California, and as of 2020, it has 111 laws governing those same things. So what's interesting here about this study is it only goes back to 1991. By 1991, California already had a massive lead over the national average. They had more laws on the books than anybody else. But people want to know, when did everything start in California? How long does it go back? At what point did things really change and get this bad in California? When did it start? Well, for a long time. If you go back to 1923 in California, 1923 is when California instituted its first waiting period. Believe it or not, it was a one-day waiting period back in 1923. But things didn't really start getting bad till, well, believe it or not, Governor at the time, Ronald Reagan, in 1967, signed a bill that banned open carry in the state. After that, in 1967, 1968, and so forth, it pretty much all started going downhill. Now, that 111 number has dramatically increased since 2020, since there have been several new laws that have been signed and have taken effect in 2021 and in 2022. But I think California politicians are in for a rude awakening, because after the Bruin decision in June of 2022, there's going to be some pretty major changes. And that's because the courts now have to use our nation's histories and traditions and the plain text of the Second Amendment when determining whether or not these laws are constitutional. And what's interesting is that a majority of these laws, like I said before, all were enacted and passed in the 20th century. And the Supreme Court has said that you cannot use the 20th century as some type of historical analog. You have to go back into the 19th or 18th century from the ratification of the Second Amendment through the 19th century, basically, in order to come up with some type of historical analog that says that a rule or regulation or law like this has existed in the past that was not overturned by the courts and has been upheld since in order to kind of support your new law. If there wasn't, or if there hasn't been, then your new law is unconstitutional. So we're probably going to see the number of those laws in California finally start to decrease. But the national average will also decrease, because it's the same is going to apply in all of the different states that are out there. So as we see California law numbers start to drop, they're going to start dropping in other states as well. California more than likely will still remain higher than other states that are out there, especially since they just basically use the court and the court system as a way to essentially, fill in the time. They use it as sort of like their own waiting period. They can enact what they want. It's going to take years to go through the court system, and during that time, these things tend to stand. So it's really interesting to see how much of a difference there is in California versus the rest of the country. I know that everybody always says, oh, California is so bad, oh, the laws are so terrible, and they absolutely are. But when you actually see the physical numbers and how bad it really is, That's what makes this so eye-opening. Now, I would say in the entire country, just based off of my opinion, who has the worst, not the most, but the worst, I would put my list as California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, and Hawaii. I would say that those are the top 5 worst states for laws in the entire country. There's some that come pretty close, but for me, that'd be my top 5. You guys have your own top 5, or you have other states that you think are just as bad or worse, go ahead and leave that in the comment section as well. But I thought I would share that information with you guys because it's, again, it's a staggering number versus the national average. So I want to thank all of you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, have a great day.